Okay, welcome everybody. So we got some very important information that came out of Social Security today, and I wanted to come back here in this live stream and talk about the details of the report that we received out of Social Security, what this means for the program as a whole, what it means for all the beneficiaries, and all the other details you need to know about it. In fact, I have the press release pulled up right here on my phone. In fact, I'll put the link for this press release down below in the description of this live stream. When I'm done with this, it's not going to be there yet, but this is the official press release right here that came out from Social Security. It has a ton of information within it. I'm going to be highlighting the majority of it here in this live stream. So there's going to be a lot of information, a lot of numbers, a lot of details. I'm going to break it all down just as I explained in the title of this video or this live stream, Full Details Explained. So there's going to be a lot of information here in this live stream. I'll give you everything that we know as of now. And again, I'll put the link for this press release into the description so you can check it out if you want to hear it right from Social Security as well. But I'll tell you all the details of it. All right, so earlier today, in fact, it was kind of late morning, early afternoonish, depending on where you're located. I was out in the live stream just moments after this broke and after this information was released. We talked about some of the key details there, and I wanted to come back here in this live stream to really hammer out some of the very important details within the Social Security Board of Trustees annual report and what this means for Social Security as a whole. Pretty important. I mean, I don't know if you feel like, who cares? Who cares? It's just Social Security. No, this is like the big report that comes out every year out of Social Security. We only get this one time per year. And this is the big one. This is the real big one. All right, anyway. So I'm going to walk through the details of this one by one here. Okay, so let's talk about some of the key numbers out there. You're going to hear this everywhere, by the way. I mentioned this earlier today, but let's just hit on some of the low-hanging fruit here. Let's just talk about some of the key numbers you need to know about, and then we'll get into more of the detailed information of how they arrived at this and what all this means for the Social Security trust funds, the beneficiaries, all the details like that. Okay. So let me just put this into context and give you some comparisons. Last year, the combined, okay, this is a key word right here, combined trust funds. When I say combined, they're combining, assuming they combine the two trust funds, the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund as well as the Disability Trust Fund. Remember, Social Security has two trust funds, the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, which pays survivors, retirement, and spousal benefits. And then there's the Disability Trust Fund, or DI Trust Fund, Disability Insurance Trust Fund, which pays strictly disability benefits for SSDI beneficiaries. Okay, so when they say the combined insolvency timeframe, that's what they mean. If they combine them, they are not combined right now. They are two totally different things. But in order to do this, they would have to change the law. They'd have to change the law, and that's their plan is, hey, let's just compile all the money. Let's combine it. Not a good plan, but that's their plan. Anyway, last year, they were talking about an insolvency time frame of the combined trust funds, both trust funds combined together, an insolvency time frame of 2035 in 10 years from now, right? So that's what it was last year. However, this new report we just got out today is showing an insolvency of 2034, 1 year earlier. And you might think, who cares? It's only 1 year. It's only 1 year now. We still have 9 years to go. This is going to continue to change every single year as we get closer and closer to that, okay? So it might seem like, it's only 9 years away, but if we fast forward 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, we might be talking like 2 years out. It's going to contract as we get closer and closer, right? The timeline is going to move closer. But anyway, in the event of combining the trust funds, okay, that's what that would look like. 2034 of insolvency. All the money is basically gone in the trust fund. Okay. When I say trust fund, by the way, think of it just as a savings account. Trust fund is basically just an interchangeable word for saying savings account. Kind of the same thing, if that helps you understand a little better. Okay. However, the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, if they were just to leave it alone and they were not to combine the two trust funds, this one trust fund in and of itself would become insolvent in 2033. Okay, now that's only 8 years away, right? Do you see how we're compressing this time frame a little bit? Absolutely, okay? All right, so that's what that comes down to. Now, if they combine these two trust funds, okay, so going back to what I said a second ago, if they combine the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund as well as the Disability Trust Fund, if they combine the two, then they would be able to pay out in 2034 81% of promised benefits. In other words, that would mean a 19% cut to benefits if they combine the two trust funds. And then at that time in 2034, in 9 years from now, if they can't figure it out on what to do here, they would have to cut benefits as of now. This number is going to change a huge amount in the next 9 years, by the way. But as of right now, they would have to cut benefits by 19%, and they would only be able to pay out 81% of promised benefits. That's if they combine the trust funds, okay? However, if they do not combine the two trust funds and they leave the old age and survivors trust fund in and of itself alone, okay? They leave it alone, they don't combine the trust funds. They would then be able to pay out 77% of benefits in 2033. So that means in 8 years, if they do nothing about this, they could only pay out 77% of promised benefits. What does that mean? Let me flip that around. That means a 23% cut to benefits if they cannot figure this out in the next 8 years. That's what that comes down to, okay? So you see how this all comes out to play and how all these numbers are all shaken out here, okay? So let me point out some other numbers for you as well. They also found the trust fund last year, okay, this is 2024, okay? Obviously here we are in the middle of June 2025 right now, Wednesday the 18th of June as I host this live stream right now. But these numbers are all based on, last year's numbers, okay? Just want to throw that out there. Anyway, here's what else they found. The trust fund, the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund, okay, the trust funds, I should say, both of them combined, depleted by $67 billion. What does that mean? They paid out $67 billion more than what they brought in through payroll taxes, through interest payments, as well as taxation of benefits. So the trust fund lost $67 billion out of the trust fund. It's a lot of money, right? I mean, here's the thing. To you and me, $67 billion is a lot of money, right? $67 billion to the trust fund, to be real, it's actually not that much. Here's why. They have $2.72 trillion in the trust fund. $2.72 trillion. So that's how much money they effectively have sitting in this metaphorical bank account, savings account. It's not just sitting there, by the way. It's invested in treasuries, so it's getting a little bit of a return, but not much. It's very minimal. The return that they get on their investment in the treasuries is like 2.4%. It's pathetic. It's really bad. It doesn't even keep up with inflation. So they're literally losing money from inflation with the money invested in treasuries, okay? So anyway, it's not just like sitting in a bank account. That's not how it works. It's invested in basically interest-paying treasuries, okay? All right, anyway, $2.72 trillion is what they have there. Now get this as well. They paid out last year $1.42 trillion. No. Let me say that again. They brought in, I'm going to say that again. They brought in $1.42 trillion of income from all sources. Remember, Social Security has 3 primary sources of income. They have payroll taxes. That's where they get the vast bulk of their money. About $1.3 trillion of all income last year came in through payroll taxes. That's FICA. When you look at your pay stub and you see FICA, like who's FICA? Why are they taking all my money, right? Yeah, that's Social Security and Medicare taxes, okay? So if you're ever wondering what that's all about, that's what FICA is. Social Security and Medicare payroll taxes. Anyway, that's where they got about $1.3 trillion of their income. Next source, get this, $55 billion. You want to guess where that came from? I'll tell you, seniors. Yep, seniors. Seniors paid for that. Okay, they took $55 billion from seniors through the form of taxation of Social Security benefits last year. Okay, that's another source of income. And the third source of income is interest payments. Last year, they got $69 billion of interest on their $2.72 trillion in treasuries. I should calculate that. I wonder what that is. It's a really bad return. I'd have to calculate the math on that. I'm curious what that is. It's a little over 2%. If I'm just kind of thinking about it as I talk here, it's a little over 2%. It's not bad. No, it's bad. It's not good. It's not much is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that's what they got. So there are 3 main sources of income. Payroll taxes, about $1.3 trillion, $55 billion from taxation of Social Security, and then $69 billion in interest, okay? Totaling $1.42 trillion of income that came into Social Security through their 3 primary sources of income. However, they paid out $1.48 trillion in benefits. That's a losing equation right there, right? And we see the details of how that happened. What I mean by that is let's compare those numbers one more time. They paid out $1.48 trillion in benefits, and they collected $1.42 trillion in income. Okay, so like if we were to compare that to ourselves, basically if we earn say $1,000 in a month and we pay out $1,200, we've got a loss. That's how they're doing it, right? They're literally paying out and they're spending more than they bring in income. Okay, all right. So anyway, that's what this is all about. Okay, now this is, remember, just the annual report that we get out one time per year. We just got it today, earlier today. We got this. Comes out, gives us all this data, and these are the key numbers that I wanted to highlight for you. There's actually more within it as well, which, by the way, again, here is the press release. You see it right here on my phone. I have it pulled up. I will put the link, again, for the press release down below in the description. When this live stream is done, it's not there yet, okay? It's not there yet, but when it is done, I will put it down below into the description so you can read it for yourself. There's a lot of data in there, and this is where we're at now. Okay, now a couple of things I want to emphasize really quickly. We're going to see this all over the place. I'm just going to say this much. There's a lot of people out there that talk about this stuff. Just because there's a lot of people that talk about it does not mean that everybody knows what they're talking about, okay? I've seen information out there. So I want to say that much. I'm not here to bash people. That's not my style, okay? I'm not here to do that, except for lawmakers. I love bashing lawmakers because why not? They're easy, right? But anyway, point being is that I'm going to see information out there. You're going to see this as well. Social Security is running out in 8 years, 9 years. Look out. It's over. That's it. It's ending. That's done, right? No, that's false. That's not the truth at all. Let me explain super fast. I said this earlier today in the live stream as well. Let me explain this super fast for you. And again, I know you know this. I just feel like I have to say this just so that there's no comments rolling in saying, you're saying it's ending. No, I'm not. It's not ending at all. Social Security is not going anywhere for a very long time. Very long time. I think all of us are probably going to see Social Security stay around for the duration of our lifetimes. I think we're fine, okay? But, I mean, if you had to ask, I mean, if I had to be honest with you, which I am in my videos every single day, but if I had to answer that and say, do you think Social Security is going to be around in 50 years? My answer to that would be, I don't honestly think so. In 50 years, I don't think. That's just my opinion about that. Here's why I say that. I think it's going to be replaced with a different program in 50 years. Is it going to be around for the next 20, 25, 30 years? Yeah, probably, for sure. I think it will be. 50 years? I think it's probably going to be replaced. That's just my opinion based on that, okay? But who knows? For now, we don't have anything to worry about. I think it's totally fine, okay? But anyway, the whole insolvency thing, okay? Let's just say that the trust fund, okay, here we are, middle portion of 2025. Let's just fast forward 8 years. Okay, so here we are. Okay, welcome to the time machine. We are now in the future. Welcome. And this is 2033 right now, okay? Welcome. 2033. I have no idea what's going on right now. It's a wild time, I'm sure. It's very weird. We're probably all robots at this point. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in 2033, but I'm just saying, okay, here we are. We're in 2033 in 8 years from now. Uh-oh, trust fund becomes insolvent. It's all out of money. Oh no, does that mean our benefits end? No, not at all. What it means is that Social Security can only pay out the money that's coming in through their sources of income, right? So since they said they would have to cut benefits, depending on the situation, they would have to cut benefits anywhere between 19 and 23%. Okay, well, they cut benefits. What that simply means is that when they have the money coming in through payroll taxes and taxation of benefits from seniors, as well as interest on the money in the trust fund, which there won't be any income there, because when the trust fund is empty, there's no income to get interest off of. There's no money in the trust fund to get interest off of. So that's going to be a source of income that dries up for them. $69 billion they got last year, that's going to be gone, right? Why? Because as the trust fund continues to deplete, it's like having a savings account. No money in the savings account, no interest, right? That's how it works. So they're literally going to lose one of their sources of income as the trust fund continues to deplete. Not good, right? So the point being is that they can only pay out the money that they have coming into them through their sources of income. If they bring in $1 billion of income through payroll taxes and taxation of benefits from seniors, they can only pay out maximum of $1 billion. In fact, it's not even going to be $1 billion because there's also administrative costs on top of that. So they got to pay those as well, right? So they're not going to pay out everything. My point being is that that's where that comes in. So the money that they're projecting that they could pay out would only be about 81 to 77% of total money that they're bringing in. Or does that make any sense? Did I explain that right? Did I explain that in a way that makes sense to you? I hope so, right? So they bring in money, they can only pay that money out, right? If they don't have a trust fund or a savings account to dip into to make up the difference, they have to cut benefits. That's the detail behind that, okay? I think that clarifies a little bit, and I explained that earlier today in the video as well. The earlier live stream today, I think I explained it there. So anyway, there you go. Full explanation. There is more details around this as well. Here in this press release, it's not a ton. I pretty much hit on everything there. If you'd like, I can do a quick scan through the press release here to make sure that I got everything, but I'm pretty confident I did. And these are the details, okay? So right now, when we look at this trustees report, we might think, who cares? It's 8 or 9 years into the future. Who cares, right? That's fine. If that's how you feel about it, that's okay. There's literally no reason to worry about this right now. Social Security is fine for at least minimum the next, I'm going to say 7 years. 7 years, we've got nothing to worry about whatsoever at all with the program. But if we fast forward 7 years and they've done nothing, well, now we're going to be talking about a different story, okay? Because that's going to be a problem. If they've done nothing, which, I'm going to be fair with you, I don't think they're going to do anything to fix the insolvency issue. I don't think they're going to do anything for at least 7 years. Just being real with you. I said earlier today, and I'm going to stand by this, I don't think they do anything to fix Social Security until we're within 1 year of insolvency. That's my prediction on this. Who knows? 7, 8 years from now, I guess we'll know the answer to that. Maybe we can look back on this video in 7 or 8 years. It's going to be a very different time then. But anyway, I don't think they do anything with this until we're within about a year of insolvency. And literally, here's how I said it earlier today, and I'm going to say it again really quickly. Here's how I anticipate this whole thing shakes out. They don't have a solution. Lawmakers can't come together on a compromise. They just sit on their hands forever. They can't agree on something. But what they do agree on is that the Federal Reserve prints $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion, whatever it happens to be. They print a few $1 trillion, and they literally just give it to Social Security. That's it. The big bailout. That's how I anticipate this whole thing ends, okay? It's literally the easiest thing in the world. It would not be good for the purchasing power of your money. It would not be good for, basically the value of our dollars, because when they print tons of money like that and they push it into the economy, it depletes our dollars, right? The value of our dollar becomes depleted because they've depleted it. I mean, that's all it is. They've diluted it, if that makes sense, right? They've diluted the value of the dollar, if that's a better way to explain it. So that's just all I anticipate seeing. Just a super quick, here, Fed, just print up a couple $1 trillion, push it over Social Security. We're good for another 15 years or whatever it happens to be. Seriously, I think that's how they're probably going to do it. Who knows? Maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but all the solutions that they have out there, they're not good. They're not good at all, right? So anyway, that's what that's all about. Okay, let me do a really quick scan through this press release really fast, make sure I didn't miss anything here. I'm pretty sure I got all of it that I wanted to share with you, and then we'll probably wrap this up. All right, give me just like 1 minute. I'm going to scan through this super fast here. Okay. Yep. By the way, quick side note, I said this earlier today as well, and I'm going to say it again super fast. This is interesting. The Disability Trust Fund, if they did nothing with it, the Disability Trust Fund that pays out SSDI benefits, if they did nothing with it whatsoever and they just left it alone, it would be totally fine for at least 75 plus years. But the problem here is that they're so desperate to find some money, they literally want to drag the SSDI or the DI, Disability Insurance Trust Fund, into this mess as well to bail out the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund. So they're literally going to take down SSDI, the trust fund that pays SSDI. They're literally going to take that trust fund down with the sinking ship. I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. They shouldn't do that. Find a real solution, guys, right? Why do you want to mess up the Disability Trust Fund as well? Just like find a practical solution and fix it. Anyway, I mentioned that earlier. I don't know. It's just like they're so desperate to find some cash here. They're like, let's go after disability. Let's bring it in. Why? Just leave it alone. It's doing just fine. Let's just fix up the old age and survivors trust fund and we'll be good, right? Yeah. Yep, I covered all this. Yep. Mhm. Yep. I got all this. Okay, I didn't say this, but I'll say it really quickly. At the end of the calendar year 2024, according to the report here, there are 68 million beneficiaries. So that's kind of interesting, right? Yep. I didn't say this part. Last year, 2024, they paid out $1.47 trillion of benefits. That's interesting, right? And this year, the projections for this year is about 1.5 trillion in benefits. That's nuts. It's a lot of money, right? Wow. Yep. Okay, so the projected long-term deficit is 3.82% of payrolls. In other words, last year they were projecting 3.5%. In other words, what this means is that the deficit would be bigger. In other words, they need to find more money real fast here, right? Okay, it's not like super urgent. It's not like, tomorrow we got to scrape together $1 trillion. No, they're good. They're fine for many years here, but that's not the right direction. They should have seen the deficit decreasing, not increasing, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't mention this. In 2024, an estimated 184 million people were working and paying in through Social Security payroll taxes, which is interesting. I wonder what percentage of the population that is, because we have a population of about 334 million people, and 184 million were working and paying payroll taxes. That's wow, that's like a little more than half of the population. I'm curious what that is. Let me calculate this. 184 divided by 334.
184 divided by 334 is approximately 0.5508.
Okay, interesting. Wow. Okay, so 55% of the population is paying into the trust fund. Interesting. I guess if it were up to me, I don't know. I guess I'd be like, hey, there's 334 million people in this country, and only 184 million are paying in through the trust fund. I don't know. Can we increase that number? How can we get more people into the workforce? Okay. By the way, I am not whoa, everybody get a job. That is not me whatsoever. But looking at that number, 55% of the population is paying in. I feel like, come on. Can we increase that by 10%? How can we get 10% more of the population, which would be 33 million more people, just start working and earning some income and paying a little bit into the trust fund? That'd be the solution right there. I mean, seriously, without even thinking about it much, that'd be a lot of extra income coming into Social Security, right? I don't know. By the way, I'm not suggesting seniors or anybody like that, people with disabilities. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm the most don't get a job type of person you could probably ever meet, right? To be fair with you, the last time I had a job was in 2008. 2008 was the last time I had a job. I don't plan on ever doing a job again. Not doing that again. No, not for me, okay? My point being is that I am definitely not a go get a job type of person like you see some of those out there. That's not me, okay? All I'm saying is that, I don't know, just seems like we got a lot of wiggle room here where we could get some people out there just hey, let's do something, right? I don't know. Maybe we should incentivize people, right? I don't know. So, yeah, a lot of different things. Oh, okay, here's another little point. This is kind of beside the point. Well, it's not beside the point. It costs $7.4 billion to administer Social Security each year, or last year, I should say. Where? How? Why? Why does it cost so much money? $7.4 billion? Wow, $7.4 billion. Where does that money go? That's a lot of money to literally have checks that are automated going out to people every month. I mean, those are not manually sent out. Those are literally automated. They're just automated going out to people. I mean, obviously the applications and the reviews and all the stuff like that, customer service. I don't know. Okay, perfect. Yep. So I got everything there. A lot of details in this report. By the way, again, here I'll show you. There is the press release. The press release from Social Security today came out today. I came in here, gave you all the details I wanted to share with you. If you're just jumping on live right now, well, I was going to give you a little recap. Best thing I would say is just scroll back, watch the first well, I don't know how long this live stream is right now. Watch the first I don't know, 12 minutes. I'm just going to guess about 12 minutes or so. Some pretty interesting information out of the annual Social Security Board of Trustees report that was released today. I gave you all the numbers and gave you an explanation for it. All right, we're going to end this. And thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. By the way, I know that money is super tight right now. Seriously, if you need to save money, seriously, remember this much as well. There's two things we can do right now. We can increase our income. That is not a solution for a lot of people. Or we can decrease our expenses, okay? There's been thousands of you, seriously, thousands and thousands. We're rapidly approaching 3,000 of you here in this community. It's absolutely incredible that have called the advisors. I have the phone number in all the videos, by the way. It should be down below in the chat box. There should be a pinned comment there with the phone number for them. The advisors to help you with your Medicare. And again, all Medicare needs like Medicare supplements, Medigap plans, Part D plans, Medicare Advantage, initial enrollment into Medicare if you're turning 65 or if you're retiring. Please do not try to hack that out yourself, okay? It's a bad deal. I did it with my parents last year. Not a good idea. You certainly can, but I wouldn't advise that. Anyway, the advisors with that phone number down below, thousands of you, nearly 3,000 of you here in this community have already called them. A lot of you saving a ton of money by getting better coverages, better plans, better benefits, and saving a ton of money as well. In fact, the average person that is calling them is saving $1,100. That's the average savings. That's incredible. That's nearly $100 a month. What could you do with an extra $100 or thereabout on average in your pocket every single month? Would that be like a week's worth of groceries, 2 weeks worth of groceries, a couple utility bills, maybe a month's worth of gas in your car, insurance on something, right? A couple co-pays, some healthcare bills. I mean, that's massive right there, right? Anyway, that's the average savings from those of you that are calling them. Phone numbers down below in the chat box. I have it there. Otherwise, when I wrap up this live stream, I'll put the phone number again down below in the description. Call the advisors. It is 100% free. Just ask them. A simple 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 or 20-minute phone call with them. Have them review your current plan, your current situation, where you're currently at, what you have. Just let them review where you're at and see what options you have. You never know what you have out there. Seriously, you don't know unless you ask. My motto in life is ask, and a lot of times you're going to receive. I ask for stuff all the time. I literally asked for a discount today, and it saved me a ton of money. I'm pretty excited about it, honestly. I had no idea I could get a discount on this one thing that I was buying today. And I was like, hey, you got a discount? And they're like, no. And I was like, are you sure about that? And they're like, I guess we got a discount. And I was like, yeah, I know you have a discount. Come on, let's apply it. And we got a discount. Seriously, you just have to ask. It's incredible how much you can get and save simply by asking. It's my motto. Seriously, I can't tell you how much I've saved over the years by just asking. Doesn't hurt to ask. Worst case scenario, they say, sorry, we've got nothing for you. That's very rare in my experience. I don't know. I feel like I should make a course about asking for discounts. It's nuts, right? All right, anyway. Phone numbers down below. Seriously, just ask them. Do yourself a huge favor, and they'll help you out a ton. All right, anyway. I'm going to put the link for the press release. Here it is. The link for the press release down below into the description when I'm done here. Give me a couple minutes. Otherwise, call the advisors. As always, leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below into the comment section after this video is up. I hope this helps you. Let me know what else I can do for you. I'm here for you. There's a lot of information, a lot of conflicting information that's out there. Anyway, I'm here for you. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe I'll catch you again later. We've got some wild things going on right now. Please stay safe out there, and I hope to see you again later. See ya soon, whatever I'm trying to say right now. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe if you have not done so. I appreciate that. Otherwise, yeah, I'll catch you again later. All right, let's wrap it up. Okay.
Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Cancel. Button.
Yes.